Val, you gonna start recording us?
Yeah. You know, kind of messing up that I did something and that's all right.
All right, so it's 5 o'clock. Go ahead and call our workshop to order. Val, you can call the roll.
Commissioner Snow?
Here.
Commissioner Curry?
Here.
Commissioner Delanoy?
Here.
Commissioner Johnson? Mayor Petty?
Here. I don't know if we need to mention, but Roy Johnson is out. He's having some medical issues, so we need to. He's not here by choice, but he's not going to be here this evening.
Excuse to absence, is that what we call it?
Not for a workshop,
Yeah.
but we'll excuse him at the commission.
Okay,
Joe?
so tonight we're doing an update on our capital projects. And what I like to do, what we've been doing is kind of the beginning of the calendar year, we'll do an update, and then we do another update about midway through the year. Just so that you know what's going on, you kind of know what we know, and it's just a good update. And then for the work session at the end of the month, on the 27th, we'll do an update on our, the developments that are going on in the city, the different projects that private sectors bring into us.
Great.
So tonight we'll have Joseph prepared a PowerPoint and Michelle put together the financials on where we are with everything. So as we go through, if you have questions, don't hesitate to ask. We'll stop and try to answer your questions right then.
Okay.
And try to bring you up to date on all the millions and millions of dollars of projects we have going on.
Of grants and
So-
wonderful money.
So we have, and I did some calculations before I got here, and between the EPA grants and the SAFIs and all the other stuff, we've got over $45 million in grant money. So to put that in perspective, we spend $4.5 million in operational between stormwater, utilities, and that's it. So we've got over 10 times the value in grant money here. So, and a lot of that's done, and some of the budget stuff doesn't necessarily reflect. You'll see multiple items for certain things. We have to seed things to get the money. So it may start a year, we may get some planning going, and then you get a second phase to it, et cetera. We need to be able to get the seed money. So that's why you see multiple entries sometimes in the budget. So first project, you guys are aware of this, is the, basically, it's the BTU project that was seeded with actually the ARPA money for $6 million. And then we're going to make that project happen, we actually used reserves, but now we're going to try to use the SAFI and replace the reserves so we can use the reserves for other projects, to seed other projects. So the new BTU, that's a picture of it down there. It is, the physical construction is ready. There's some pipe work on the outside that still needs to be done, and electrical and some SCADA. But it should be ready this spring. So for hurricane season, we should have a new BTU. When this project is done, we're going to start the second phase of the SAFI for the wastewater plant. The ARPA money has to be spent and zeroed out, otherwise we have to give it back to the fits.
It's by December.
By December of '26. So the goal is to get this project cleaned up and before we start complicating it with the ARPA money and extending it or doing something else with that project. All right?
What are we doing with the old ones?
Oh,
The old ones they're staying in use, and I'll talk about them later on. All right, so the next project is the SAFI Water Resilience, and if you see the picture over there, we got this, unfortunately, we had 2 hurricanes, and the plant took a massive amount of water. So the guys were walking around in ankle-deep water with electricity and everything else, and those chlorine cylinders, now I'll point these out here. These chlorine cylinders were floating in water. That's very dangerous. So that did 2 things for us. It got us the SAFI money. It also got us a grant from the county, which I'll talk about later on, for the chlorine conversion project. That project is, I would say, 95% designed. I should be hopefully bidding by summer to automate that plant, and when we get done, it should be an automated plant that can run through a hurricane. All the electrical and anything that's critical is gonna be lifted up out of basically the floodplain, so that plant will work whether it's raining or not. Next one. So we were able, because of the hurricane, I believe this is Ian's money, this county had what they have, Transform 360. So we submitted for 3 projects.
386.
One was the chemical replacement, so remember those chlorine tanks I told you about? Well, we put those in as a hazardous mitigation because if one of those tanks broke loose, we'd have to evacuate all the neighborhood around it because of chlorine gas. So that qualified, so we got $600,000 for them on that, and then we're putting in $200,000 on that one. Then our stormwater system on the east side here has steel pipes. And what we're gonna try to do is line all those pipes with fiberglass so we can get another 50 years out of them. Because they're providing. And then the last project is a stormwater study. So the county is actually leading this. We're not actually going to put any money out on this. They're actually going to provide a consultant with our scope of work, and they're gonna look for stormwater solutions that we can do locally.
Joe and I were talking about that yesterday because it came up at the roundtable meeting, but it just seems like that's so far out. 25, this was awarded in 25. The next hurricane season's gonna be here and the residents are gonna come with pitchforks. What have you been doing? Well, we're waiting on our study and it won't be done
Well,
for
we do
another
have
year.
projects going on in between there. So there are projects that, and we'll talk about some of the
Okay.
projects here.
The county sent out an update just yesterday, and they anticipate the study being done February 1st.
Well,
So that's
27.
For that one, no?
no, they haven't
So what is
started
it?
yet.
On the study? The
Right
study's
here.
underway.
Look on the screen. February 1st, 2027.
Was that copied and pasted?
Yeah,
Was it?
Yeah, that's what they showed us
I sent-
yesterday.
I sent that out.
Yes.
yeah. But we do have projects moving forward
You think I typed it? I do a lot of typing.
that are based, based on the best science we have right now. We have
Right.
projects moving forward. right
Okay.
now. Okay, so, next slide. So basically, the liner is just basically, it's a fiberglass, think of a balloon, they blow it in, they add moist hot air to it, and basically it cures it, then they cut the ends off, and it's basically a pipe that should last for 50 years. Next slide.
How, just real quick, how, is that still the same for breaking the pipe as it would be?
If it's a broken pipe, it has to be repaired.
No, I mean, once they line it with this,
It hardens.
It hardens.
hardens it so it's not as easily broken?
No, it,
Fiberglass.
basically, it's fiberglass, it's reinforced with fiberglass, it should hold up for, indefinitely.
Okay, because I know
But
that
they aren't broken yet.
They're
It's a good
rusting
thing.
through.
Okay. It should
Yeah.
be a little more sturdy.
Yeah,
I mean, you can put it through some cracks and minor breaks, but if it's like destroyed, they gotta be.
but think of a fiberglass bolt hole, it
Okay.
moves better than the steel does, if
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yes, thank you.
So basically, I'm going back to this, I jumped ahead. This is we're gonna have some liquid tanks. It probably won't be that big of a tank, but that was the best picture I could find for the PowerPoint. We're gonna have chlorine tanks there. They'll be tied down, and we're going, and they'll be much safer for our community.
Remember, the reason it's safer is if liquid chlorine tanks breach, you have chlorine on the ground and it's contained. If you have a breach in a gas cylinder, that gas could spread for miles. So
And
liquid
and the
chlorine
gas,
is much
the gas
safer.
chlorine is hazardous.
Yeah.
You can't breathe it.
Burn you lungs up.
What's the price perspective on that? Is it
It's
more?
about the same, it's actually getting cheaper.
But for the operation,
No, for the liquid versus the gas.
The problem is the gas nobody's using it anymore, it's getting very, very expensive because of the liability of using it. So the liquid is actually more competitive right now in the market. All right, so Third Street, you guys saw the pipe, we had the old pipe we're taking out of the ground, we're putting the new HDPE pipe in. We have done task one, which is the south side of Third Street. We are doing task 2. If you can go up a little bit, Joe, on that one, can you? Yeah, you got the price there. So we have authorized Black Sands to do task 2. We have asked for legislative appropriations for task 3 and 4. I don't know if we'll get it or not, but we asked for it. If not, we'll do task 3 next year. So, and we'll keep adding to those
And
projects.
some of the low water pressure complaints from that area will be improved with.
Well, yes, the task 1 area, excellent.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, when we started that up, some of the people in there, they had to actually flush their system out, and then they were like, oh my God.
Okay, good, thank you.
But because the pipes were so, in such bad shape, getting there, you know, the little bit of transition, there was some issues with the residents. Mostly it just had to take their filters off their sinks. They had a little bit of grime and stuff that with the pipe transitions.
Okay.
All right, so this is Lift Station 4 project. Lift Station 4 is a master lift station. It takes all of your southeast quadrant. It's right there in Pictona. It is the new master station for what we're doing. You'll see there's a bypass. Can you go up again a little bit? I don't know why it's not going. All right, so the left side there is a.
I'm not in PowerPoint, I'm in a PDF.
Okay, that's fine. Okay. There's an independent pump, so if we lose power, that pump automatically has its own floats. It will come on and continue to operate the system. Obviously, we got state-of-the-art, state of control going to the lights. We can turn these pumps on and off. And then the new pump stations, the new ones we're doing, all have if we have enough space, we're going to above ground piping. And you have these check valves and stuff. And normally the old style was you put them underground. Well, you put them underground and the H2S gets to them, and you know, basically it rots them out. And then they're very hard to repair because everything's in this concrete vault. So you go above ground, you don't have to worry about the concrete, the H2S gas anymore, and it's easier to maintain. So that's kind of the new design that Holly Hill is using for all of our lift stations, where we have the room to build. Next slide. So we did get a legislative appropriation for the reclaim, expanding it, and the areas are going to be Centennial Park, City Hall, and Sunrise. We already have it at the golf course. We do have a project that we've been struggling to complete at the golf course. The golf course has irrigation. They use it regularly. They have a way to monitor their pond and fill it. We've had to reorder a couple of different times to get the right communication. We can't put reclaimed water in their ponds too high. So we've been over a year and a half trying to get the stuff to talk to each other. And just so you know, on that project right now, we send about 3.34 million gallons to the golf course on average a day, and the parks will probably be about 110,000 gallons a day.
Is there any progress on sending any of our reclaim to Ormond on that?
Yes,
project?
well, the golf course, once the golf course is fixed, we can potentially do that, but we need to upgrade our motors for our reclaim system to get higher pressure. And that was part of the Sapphire wastewater project, which we haven't started that part of the project because we want to finish the ARPA first.
So Joseph, all the teal colors is where we're gonna be able to send reclaim
Yes.
to?
Yeah, and actually, there's gonna be a little bit more than that, but this was the old report done by Mead and Honey. That was a couple of years ago, and I just took the page out.
It just seems cheap, 289,000 to send it all those places.
No, that's the golf course,
Oh, that's the golf course, okay, gotcha.
okay?
Are we being pressured or anything by the state?
Yes, we have to get out of that, we have to get 90% out of the river by 2032.
So here, let's call it SB 64, Senate Bill 64, and that's the requirement to stop putting reclaim into the river, effluent into the river.
Anybody, have we looked into anything about trying to get this to residents? I mean, in any kind of
We don't
program?
have the infrastructure to do it.
Well, I know that.
In Seminole County, they had communities that were built, new communities, especially on the west side of I-4, the north side of I-4, that when they built these communities, they built them with water lines and with reclaim lines, and all they had to do is tie into the system. Well, for us to run new lines in this city would be cost prohibitive.
Now, we did pick up Mirage though. Yeah, we're gonna pick up Mirage.
Off of that same line going out
Yeah.
to the, yeah. So we get a new community like that, we can do it, but to retrofit the city,
What size is that line that's going out over there? That's
It's
gonna
an
come by
8-inch.
Mirage?
It's an 8-inch.
What about the RV park?
No, there's
Is
nothing
that-
going, there's nothing in that area. We were lucky, the golf course, the line goes right by the golf course and then goes out to Nova and then goes, so it backdoors into the Mirage project.
We don't charge for that, right?
We will be charging Mirage, we have to change our rates for that.
So
the golf course, we give it to them at no cost. Fountainhead property, I think it's $200 a month, maybe. It's nominal. Because remember, at the time, and like we are now, the state comes in and says, you've got to do something with this. So, so we really weren't in a position to charge people, we were more in a position to pay
Sure.
people to
Yeah,
take it.
Yeah, get rid of it, yeah, I hear you. So, that 8-inch, are we getting rid of what we want to get rid of with that?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, so
that's enough to
it's
get-
actually, I believe it's a 10-inch to the golf course and then it reduces to go to Ormond Beach.
It doesn't take us completely out of the river.
Yeah.
That's just what we can distribute.
I was just curious if, we could offer it to residents as it's going that way, if anybody wanted it also, and then maybe build some extra,
It's
some money.
peanuts compared to what we can get if we work with Ormond, it's peanuts to what we need to move almost 1 million gallons.
Yeah, for now.
So-
Yeah, get rid of it for
Yeah,
now.
so, but, that the residents wouldn't need to be 50, half, 0.1 million gallons, it's not, residents would be, even if we really went hog wild, we're better off working with Ormond, and I have to fix my pumps first at the lift station, at the wastewater plant to get it to Ormond, then we'll see how much we have left.
This thing is a pretty good opportunity for people to get water for their yards and everything else. Just somehow to open it up. I mean, come up financially to maybe build something out of it, a small usage and build it up and try to get money, start advertising that, if you want it, it costs you this much to get it. We're gonna be, pretty soon they're gonna cut us from even digging wells for, I think
We're
it's
not
pretty.
digging any
hard.
more wells anymore.
Can't even put a well in. Yeah, you have a well in it, so, people are gonna want their yards watered here shortly. And people will pay, money's out there, just
All right.
how you gotta put it together to get it to them.
Next project, the tidal flow preventer project. So as long as the water doesn't breach the bank and come into the road, the tidal is going to limit flooding on basically Riverside Drive.
Okay.
Is
Is the last one in? The last one's
The
installed?
last one is in,
Yeah.
and that was the only area that flooded in that group. I mean, the ones to the north really did do what they were supposed to do.
So in some sadistic way, we're waiting for a pretty good rainstorm to see if it works.
But not too big of a
But
rain.
we can wait for another year.
A good August afternoon thunderstorm will be able to see
So,
if it works.
it's not gonna, is it gonna eliminate? No, but it will significantly help. Next project. So this one snuck up on us. This last storm we had in September, I think, we had that big rainstorm, about 8 inches or something, 6 or 8 inches come through. Wasn't a hurricane or anything. Lift station 15, basically failed on us, and were barely able to keep it going. So we brought this project and we rehabbed it, and you'll see on the right there, they basically took a bypass pump and they basically took the station offline. They put this big pump in there with a hole through it, and they sucked the water coming out of the collection system.
And where's this
then
at?
they repaired. This is on Flamingo.
Okay.
And then we did all new wiring, put all new pumps in there, all new legs. The station was just gone. So this was a small station, but for 45,000, we did a major rehab, which is, compare that one to lift station 4, which was 1.4 million, I think. So, we got a deal on this one. Some of our stations are small, some of them are big. We did not put a bypass pump on this. I'll talk about that. We do have opportunities down the road to get bypass pumps. All right, so Steve got us a grant for, oops, my numbers didn't show up. They've disappeared. They're on your printouts. So lift station 7, 14, and 16, we were able to get some grant money to put in bypass pumps at those stations. So they will automatically run during the storms. It's one more headache staff doesn't have to worry about. They'll automatically be pumping.
Your numbers are just off the paid exceeds.
I think, yeah, I
They're on
think the
the top.
boxes were small or something. So next slide. So this one's an interesting one. So during the hurricane, our public works yard flooded, and our storage on the left over there had about 1 foot of water in it. And we lost a bunch of stuff. And we lost it at Eden and Milton. So we looked at, can we move these to the upper side? On the south side, we have some upper land over there. Comparable projects to that are $25 million. So there's nothing wrong with the buildings. If we maintain the buildings, we should be able to keep them for another 25 to 50 years at a minimum. So we think of Home Depot when you go in there and there's those big racks that go up.
Right.
We have bought these racks, and then there's on the side here, there's battery operated lifts, so we can put stuff on pallets up out of the water, and we don't have to worry. Now, a couple of days after the storm, we have limited access, but after that, everything's fine and dandy, nothing's damaged.
So the only question I have is, what do we do with the forklift?
The forklift's going to be moved. The forklift's going to be moved to the high ground.
Okay.
We have high ground that's above the. All right, next one. So every year, just so you know, we buy pumps for our lift stations, and that pumps they're expensive. They're from $5,000 to $35,000. So, and we try to keep a spare on the shelf, but some of our stations are 240, some of them are 480. We may have a 230s because they're different voltages. And then we have some off-size 230s. We have some different voltages. So we have a lot of the same size pumps, but we have a lot of different voltages. So we have to have multiple pumps on the shelf so that when one fails, we can replace it. So that's what that pump replacement project is you see every year. It's not we're just buying new pumps. Heine wipes kill the pumps. When I started this industry, we didn't have Heine wipes. I didn't go through pumps.
Flushable wipes.
Wipes. Okay,
Yeah.
I need wipes.
Wipes, clogged pipes. All right, so this year, we've actually got a couple of projects here. We've already got the allocations for the regional drainage estuary, and the engineer's working on that. That is going to be helping us determine how much, when it rains, how much water comes at us from our neighbors to the west, and how much the river influences us. We also have a few projects that we have proposed next year for legislative for the weir gates. So Mirage Lake would be a weir gate. So if the estuary monitoring says we're at low tide, we can open the weir gates up, drain Mirage Lake naturally, close the weir gate, the tide comes back up. It doesn't take any more water, and it's got extra capacity when it rains. So we're trying to take care of Mother Nature with that.
That's the neighborhood where a lot of the residents have been coming before.
Yes, yes.
We
So
don't have a project for the weir gates yet.
we don't have that project. No, we proposed
Right.
it for legislative appropriation, and
In this
that's,
coming year.
yeah. But it would be run by, one of the problems with a weir gate problem is you have to prove that you're not flooding anybody. So the estuary monitoring program will tell us the levels of the canal so that we can show that we're not flooding anybody, the canal's got capacity. Lift Station 7. Lift Station 7 is actually right here on the end of the road, and it is right on the river, and it will go underwater on super high tides. So the state is going to give us an elevation to bring that lift station up out of the ground a little higher so that it doesn't flood. It's also one of those stations that's getting a bypass pump. Now, the SAM grant. There's a lot of information on this slide, so I'm gonna have to go through this. So we got the appropriation from the state. We still haven't got the contract yet, but we got the appropriation. It's about $23 million. It's 19 and change and for the collection system and the treatment rehab. So if you remember, it's why one of the questions was, what are we gonna do with the old trains? We're going to rehab the old trains with some of this money. We're basically gonna put in a new oxidation system on it. We're gonna drain the tanks one at a time when the new BTU comes online. We're gonna take all the sludge that's out of the bottom of them. We're gonna make them brand new tanks. We're gonna be fully operational with 3 almost brand new BTUs when this project is done. The collection system, a bunch of collection systems went underwater. Bypass pumps. We had electrical problems. We had stations go down. We're gonna put bypass pumps out there. We're going to put watertight lids on our collection system. And we should tighten our collection system up with this $19 billion. Those are the target monies for that $19 million. We don't have the money yet, but we should be getting it hopefully this summer. The other, lucky and bad, on State Street, we had a water main break. And because we had a water main break there, we were able to get $3 million to put a new water main down State Street. So we put in for replacement of the water main there. And the water main on State Street is about that big, even serving those industrial complexes. So we're gonna put a big, nice big 8-inch pipe in there and put all new services to all those residents in there, and they will love life. It will be just like we're doing on 3rd Street, and the state's paying $3 million to do that project.
Good.
So, now, how this also affects our budget, and on the right side there, you'll see we have a project called 26WW04. That's the trunking. So on 6th Street and 8th Street, we had some issues where the manholes in the streets were popping a little bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna trunk those lines. We're gonna directly bring those lines to the wastewater plant instead of having them piggyback from system to system where it back pressures and can come out on the street.
Is that where the water's, but because on 8th Street it does all the time if we got it.
Yeah,
It- it
when
bubbles
Friends
around.
Road that, yeah. So the trunking will take care of that. And that's an expensive project. It's like $800,000. Part of this, the SWAM grant can pay to do that trunking. So we're recommending that we do not do that project this year. We wait until we get the SAM grant and then we do the construction of that.
So has the grant been awarded, we just haven't received it?
So what we did is we applied for an allocation of $300 million, all right? And we got actually, they divided a bunch of the projects up and they said the most you can get is 19. It's actually 19.3, but I'm not counting change here. So we got the full allocation for them. We are now, with Mead and Hunt, we're doing our initial complete
Okay.
application. And then we have to do a modified plan that we adopted last year. I can't remember the name off the top of my head, but anyway, we have to do this plan, all right, an operations plan for that money with a budget. Those two things have to take place and then we get the contract.
Okay.
But essentially, we got the money, sort of like we did with the Sapphire. We've got the money. It's
Just
just
got to comply.
we have to jump through all the hoops now. So we're trunking program. We're going to say we're going to push that one off a little bit because we'd rather use the state money for that. Also, the blower program, 26WW05, the blower replacement program. That's really the aerators out at the existing BTUs. We've got a proposal to put brand new aerators in them. They're higher off the water. The old ones are done.
remember going out there, those are the things that spin on top of the water.
Paddle wheels.
And some
And
of
they
them
add
are-
oxygen to the water. They're breaking loose, they're done. And it would cost me $1 million to fix them. I'm hopefully gonna replace them for $600,000. And then the grit removal of the BTUs is part of that process too. So that's all hopefully gonna be the $19 million. I had those projects budgeted for this year, but we're gonna try to postpone those projects for the grant money and save that money and use that capital to seed other projects or do other things that come up.
So JD, when that third BTU comes online, we'll be able to take one of the other BTUs down, do the repairs, the maintenance, the grit removal.
What do you talk, I kinda got an idea of what the BTU, what is the BTU? What is that?
Can you go back to the first slide? Or
Where
second
the
slide?
water comes in
Bacterial
first.
treatment unit?
Biological.
Biological.
The black water comes in first,
Comes into,
the plant first.
So,
That's what you-
so
It's the dirty water.
basically, the water is received over here, it's pumped over to here, and these are big oxygen
so
tanks,
that's what you're calling the BTU?
biological treatment units. A
Okay.
big
I got you.
batch of bacteria that we feed oxygen to, and it eats
Yeah, okay.
It eats
I'm
the,
with you now. What is trunking?
trunking is, right now we have lines that are lift stations that are piggyback, so one lift station to one lift station.
Yeah.
And so that when this one pumps to this one, this is a gravity system.
Mm-hmm.
If this system is full, this pressure pushes it out the manholes.
Yeah.
And, that, we don't want that to happen, so I'm going to trunk it, meaning I'm going to bypass that system, and I'm gonna go all the way to the plant with a
So we're
direct
gonna run
line.
lines all the way to the plant for each
Yeah.
one of those?
Well, no, I'll run a line here that's like a 6-inch line, then here it'll be an 8-inch line, and this one will hook up to it. And then from here it'll be a 12-inch line that'll catch this one, and that will get it to the plant.
So you're gonna go from 8 to 10 to like a 12 or
Yeah.
14?
Well,
So by-
whatever the
one
engineer says.
line going to the
Most of
plant,
our
but it'll
stations
be-
most of them are 8s until we get real
Is it
close to the
still gonna
plant.
be gravity fed or is it gonna?
No,
be-
no.
Now you're gonna put pumps on them or?
It's all gonna be pumped, the collections are gravity,
Yeah.
but when it gets to the lift station, it's gonna be pumped to a
Gotcha.
trunk main that is not going to be connected to the gravities that can pop out of the ground.
Do we call that a force main?
It is a force main, but it's called trunking when you add them all together and bring them to the plant.
So you're gonna,
Think of a tree trunk.
so you're gonna use the existing plumbing that's there now, the existing lines?
No,
or-
we're gonna have to put in a new main system, but it's really only one main if you think about it, because if I'm hooking these together, I'm taking this line and going and hooking these up as I go by.
Seems like an awful lot for the price.
It's the only way to keep
Well,
those
no,
things
I
from
think the
popping.
price is great. It just seems like a lot for the money.
Yeah. There's not a lot of connections to it, it's really just a directional drill, which makes it pretty cheap.
It's a long ways to go.
Where you get into how expensive is when you have to directionally drill and you have to keep popping up to go to residential units and stuff like that with the water main. All those connections, you're working in tight right-of-ways in people's front yards, it's a lot of work. This is basically a long push from one spot to another. Anyway,
I have two questions. You, at the very beginning, mentioned 45 million in grants. Is that what staff has created for us? Our
That-
vendors?
that is a combination of bad luck with the hurricanes,
Okay, all right, it's situational. Okay.
situational, staff working very hard and knowing the ins and outs to know what to ask for,
Right,
and then having a good consultant to
Meet
make
on.
the presentations
excellent.
sharp, and then also having the connections to make sure that our paperwork gets topped on the stacks.
All right, okay, good.
Does that make sense? So,
It
I mean, it's a win-win-win.
It's
I mean,
it
it's a group
certainly
effort.
is. Yeah.
You know, it is not, me, it's not Steve, it is, some of it's situational, like the grant, 7, 14, and 16, those lift stations.
Right,
There's certain economics that had to happen for those, so Steve knew how to pick the economics out to make those successful grant applications.
okay,
They weren't our priority ones, but
Right.
they're 3 that we don't have to worry about.
sure.
Does that make sense?
It does,
Good grant writing is very important.
absolutely. Yeah.
And basically, what our staff does is they put together the explanation of why we need this project, and then the way I like to look, a lot of people, you'll hear them saying grant money's free money. No, because that's tax money, but if we don't receive that grant money, somebody else is going to. So it's very important to take advantage of those grants, and our staff has been phenomenal at doing that.
So if you want to look at it, if you take to it, I believe, it's not PRMG, I can't remember who our rate consultant was. If you remember that rate meeting, I believe they said we diverted a 22 to 25% rate increase
Yeah.
with the Sapphire grant.
GAI? No, they did
No, it
the,
wasn't
they
GAI.
did the
I can't remember who they
It
were
was
anyway.
Stantec, and then it went over to,
They used to be in PRMG, but I can't remember who they are now. Anyway, Rough Health.
what else?
So anyway, but if you kind of manipulate that out, it's
Right.
probably a 50% rate hike. We've been able to avoid and modernize our facility and get a lot of our stuff done. Again, through hard teamwork and, you know,
Yeah.
dedication on consultants, our
I
staff.
really think your department has done an awesome job.
Obviously, just
We
coordinating
keep trying,
all the
but, and, you
information.
know, we're hoping we don't have any more situations. We're hoping that this will take care of
Right.
it.
Right.
And we don't need it. And you look at some of the slides, you know, like on that first slide, when you're looking at that much water on your site, it's pretty easy to get grant money.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
how awful that you have to go through that.
You know, but we had to take a picture of that
Right.
to put it with the application, you know?
Yeah.
We didn't hide it.
So I know, go ahead.
I'm sorry. My other question is, what's going on with the water tower? Is that
It's
being
going to be, it's
disbanded?
going to be, as part of the bid, when we go out for that, it's gonna be an option to take it down.
Okay.
And we'll see where the money comes out. Construction right now is just plain out scary.
Yeah.
Everything that isn't essential to get that water plant resilient
Right,
is an option.
right.
There's a few things in there that, you know, the water tower is gonna be one of them. If we can't afford to do it, we're gonna either postpone it or try to find money for it someplace else.
Okay, I thought.
Does that make sense?
Workshop.
Yeah. It's on the list,
Okay.
but it's not, it doesn't have to get done to make that
We're
plant
going to do it as a
resilient.
change order to the contract.
Okay, all right,
I
So
can,
do you have anything
thank you.
other than what was on the presentation that's on the update?
Would you like to briefly look at this?
Yeah. They have copies of it?
No, but it's in the agenda item.
Yeah, I did see it in the agenda.
yeah, I did, like I said, I thought that was, the visual was better than going through all of this, because this gets very hard when you're talking about, you know, 26 ST, you know, 04, what is that?
So when we look at all these projects, you know, $45 million, and
And that doesn't count the little ones.
so I'm just looking at this from, I understand that most of these, well, from what I see, most of these projects are water and wastewater projects
And stormwater.
that are affected during stormwater events, because we can only put 1.1 for the lining and 700,000 for the backflow preventers. So out of the 45 million, less than 2,
No, you got four, it's gonna be about 4 million for the stormwater
right, but
and
so.
the estuary.
I'm just thinking, as the average citizen, is gonna look at this and go, you're spending all this money on your system, how are you helping my house? And I understand they're all intertwined and
So two things are happening. There'll be an agenda item, information item not this coming meeting, but the next meeting about a study the Corps is doing with Daytona.
with Daytona.
Beach. Okay, and it's got some projects that may get some federal money for, all right? That project probably could have the potential to do the most impactful to
Right,
us.
and I agree, it's just, we have, when that comes around, we need to make sure that we get that out to the masses, because you know, we had a lot of people coming in, the stormwater, well, now I have raw sewage in my front house. Well, a lot of this is gonna take care of that.
Yeah,
not
we're gonna
have
take
those
care of that
problems.
raw sewage.
But then they also are gonna see the stormwater and don't realize that once our water system gets, you know, overwhelmed that it contributes to the whole stormwater, even though it's not stormwater, it's all
Right.
nasty water all over the
So
place.
the first thing we got going right now, and to remind people, is the estuary monitoring program. We're gonna know how the water flows through the LPGA canal and.
And that gives us
Holly
ammunition
Hill.
to go after them and say, you
Then
gotta
it
help us.
goes, yes, it gives us ammunition to start building projects, because if, let's just say, Mirage, Lake Mirage, all right? If the estuary monitoring program says that we can't empty that lake, we gotta find a different solution than the weir gate. But we do have a weir gate in, for legislative appropriations
Right.
next year. That could happen very quickly. It's not gonna happen for this hurricane season, but it could happen for next hurricane season. That's how quickly that
Right,
project
okay.
can
Remember,
grow.
we've been telling the people all along that our response and our fixes are systematic to the
No,
entire
right.
system.
Right.
And I told everybody, it may not necessarily help your individual home. It may, but we're not going out putting a moat around their house.
No, but this goes a long way. If you drive down 6th or 8th Street and don't see the raw sewage coming out of the manholes anymore, you're going, oh, they're doing something here.
Difference, yeah.
I think it might be good if we can put it on our website or Facebook or whatever and include it on the varying stormwater.
Every Monday, we do an update to the stormwater projects that we're doing. We're gonna add this to that.
Okay.
Now that we've
It's
put
just,
them to the commission.
the more people know, I think the better off we are.
Yeah, we have to just keep driving people to the website so that they can read.
Exactly. Thank you.
All right, so before we run out of time, I just want to, we'll run down the list of projects of where we are and some things, just to give you a quick update.
Yep. So these are the ones that were approved in the budget for this year. So the updates, we had a Ford F-150. We just issued the PO on that. 2 Ford Police Interceptors. We issued the POs back in October. We're expecting them to be delivered next week. Currently in Bartow, so they're right here. Chevy Equinox is here. We received it. Zero Turn Skag. We just issued the PO on that last week.
I think that came in
They're
today.
going with the-
Yes, yes, okay.
Equinox?
Okay.
Can I pick mine up?
Not an Explorer.
These are all brand new vehicles, right?
Oh, really?
This is part of the fleet replacement program. Phase 3, overhead to underground. FPL is,
I've seen them out there.
They're out of
Yeah.
north end, if you haven't seen the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Very
banging away.
Yeah, they've been out.
And just so you know, we are letting them use the water tower site as staging to help expedite that project along, just in case you get any
That's
questions.
fine.
They have their own key and the tower is isolated, it's fine.
right, so FPL is energizing the underground so that the secondaries can be hooked up. And the ITS, they're working on the schedule, which is the traffic signal communication.
And they're still anticipating late spring, early summer completion. So,
Why do they bother with that? That doesn't work anyway.
Yeah.
Just my attempt at a dad joke.
Yeah. Annual paving program with Halifax Paving. It's complete aside from Calle Grande. Calle Grande was very difficult working with the railway. We took one street off of that because we had some issues there, 15th Street, and I'm waiting for their proposal for Bainbridge, south of Oneonta, to see if we can use that and push 15 to the next year.
now that Steve mentioned FEC, I copied you on an email today that we did
Yes.
finally get a response from FEC. They're gonna clean the
And that's
ditches.
awesome.
Yes.
And then we're gonna have to create a maintenance program moving into the future.
So while we're talking about that, we are also looking at updating our 5-year road paving program, and we'll probably have a little workshop on that.
Okay.
We're also looking at potentially a new innovative paving system that might save us some money and be able to do a few more roads.
That'd be great.
The second one there is the engineering for the paving program. So that is, in this case, Mead and Hunt is overseeing the work, making sure that it's done according to their design. 25 STO3's annual sidewalk replacement. They're going to be back on site at Flomich on the 20th, so that's next week.
Riverside will follow.
Yeah, Riverside, that got approved by commission on the 9th, so we have the PO in the works for that one. And that's CEI. So going down to our old fire station conversion, we're holding on that one for just a little bit. We have some meters in there, and we're just gonna be putting in a cage so that police inventory can go in there. Seawall at Riverside Park. Seawall is complete aside from a little bit of punch list, and I'm gonna be ordering a plaque for find. We'll get reimbursed $440,000 for that project. And they did a nice job. It looks good.
It looks good.
Yeah. Sunrise Park improvements. We kept this one open just for a little stuff that needs to be done. The most recent one is the fitness court is rusted out because they use steel. So we ordered stainless steel replacements. They're now making stainless steel, so we'll get that there.
Okay.
And we have somebody that's going to do the install on behalf. So it's in production, probably around a month out.
How about all the water fountains that used to be there?
There's the one water fountain that's close to the playground that we took out. We could extend it up. Used to be one that was further out too.
There's one further out, but all it is the faucet.
And I
It's
think
hard.
if we do like Pictona has those water bottle refill stations, if we could do just one of those.
If we were to do that, I'd recommend doing it up at the building.
Yeah.
Definitely.
How many
yeah,
times you want to
yeah.
replace it?
Well, that's
Wait, is that true?
Really?
really, it'll get destroyed.
Really?
Yeah. In the last 6 months.
Well, I know the bathrooms get destroyed.
Yes. I know there used to be one by the playground.
Yeah.
So I've heard about that. but
Yeah, that was
Bring your
a
own
casualty. Yeah, when the playground got taken out, that was taken out with it.
And
Can
if
we
we
get
need
the
any
water
extra
fountain
money to
back?
bring the
Can we
reclaimed
get
out there, we're
some
gonna
sort of
steal
water
whatever's
fountain
left
back?
on.
I mean,
We
like-
can, the brick water fountains are around $5,000.
Well, the ones that used to be there was just like a telephone pole and it just had a pipe came up with a.
It was actually brick. Yeah, there were these brick things.
Well, you can do the telephone poles, you know, that's see them around and
But again,
just.
that's
put
just
it
gonna
on.
be, that's gonna be whatever temperature the water comes out, as opposed to being plugged in and being cooled, so it's just,
Yeah.
We used to drink out of green garden hoses.
I
I have no
know.
problem.
I think that's okay. Whatever temperature, as long as there's water.
I mean, a lot of times it's people are using it for their dogs too, you know, whatever, when they're down there walking.
Well, we had talked about one of the little dog ball. What about where, the caution tape is by the parking area? What's being done with
They
that?
just, they've been coming back and treating it. This goes back a little ways. I remember you asked about it. The shell that was put out in front.
Oh, is it the same?
They've been doing it in sections.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
And they did the latest treatment, I think it was last week, but we want to make sure that it holds.
Okay.
Um,
didn't realize it was
think it's
this.
holding.
I didn't realize it was the
One
same
section
issue.
seems to be holding and the other one is not yet. So we haven't paid them yet for it. I want to make sure that it's done because it looks really nice, but that people walk through it and they drag it in. So.
Were those fountains plumbed from the bathroom area? Is that where
Yes.
they were plumbed from? But they just, did they cap it off when they did so does anybody know, they still know where it is?
Yeah.
Can we go from there and go like, just put a couple of them out there? I knew there was one that used to be right there by the playground.
Yeah,
There
the
was
one
one all the
playground.
way out at the end, at the point.
Right, we still know where they are. Yeah.
I'd like to see them back, I really would. I mean, nothing, just something basic, just a push button fountain. You know, something that can't be destroyed. 'Cause it'll get, anything that's nice will be destroyed. But, you know, you just have like a push button.
Well, the one that's out there that you turn on just needs a catch basin under it, or rocks underneath it, or something.
Yeah.
The one near the playground?
No,
one up in
the far end.
Oh,
It's just a hose
yeah,
bit.
that one was damaged too. That's just a
Yeah,
pipe.
it's a hose bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll look at getting some, probably some kind of a aluminum,
I wouldn't
round
put too much
aluminum
on
that's
there.
got a faucet and a little dog bowl on the bottom.
There's one at the dog park that works great, and I think it's rocks or bricks. Yeah.
All right, City Hall flooring, you can see that's just about 100%. The only area that we have left is right in front of the wheelchair lift. They have to do some more.
Those transitions you guys put in are really nice.
Yeah.
In front of the bathrooms.
Yeah.
I thought it was just gonna be painted, but it turned out really nice.
Yeah, that looks nice, and the little thresholds, the little 2-inch thresholds,
Yeah.
it makes the stairs pop a lot.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
So the only area not done right now is right by the wheelchair lift. There's the plywood. We want to stain it to try to match as best we can. Because it's a funny shape, otherwise we would have done vinyl. Public Works, admin flooring, the flooring is done. We have to do some painting over there until they close. Yeah, it's the only reason why the project's still open. Sunrise Park North, Dog Park, doors and frames, that's completed. So we're going to close that. Prefabricated building at Public Works. This is the Quonset hut that got destroyed during Milton. The building is in place, looks great. We're getting quotes for electrical modifications. I got 2 quotes so far. Low one being $9,000. I'm waiting for the third. And once we get that, we'll have it installed and we'll be able to close that one out. That's also a FEMA thing, so we'll be able to ask for reimbursement. Actually, insurance reimbursed us $130,000 for it already, so we're gonna have to just approve our expenditures. Riverside Park pier replacement, you'll be seeing the labor on that tonight. We, under direct purchased the actual pier section and the bollards, so we're just hiring out the labor.
Okay.
Air conditioning replacements, this is an annual thing. Every year we have an R&R for citywide and also at the YMCA. We have preventative maintenance over here, so every year we have a company that comes out and does standard maintenance and also grades our equipment. So they can tell us at the end of the fiscal year, these things are shot. We still have money in the budget. Come July, August, that's when we get to start replacing them. AV upgrades to the commission chambers, I believe that just went out today. We got 3 quotes for it, and one of the quotes was under $50,000, but it was just under. And I just foresaw, let's put a couple more speakers, and then we'd have to stop work, because then it goes to the commission level of approval. So instead of doing that, we're just doing an RFP. Get in front of it and get your approval on it.
A lot of money for some PA system.
Up in Ormond Beach, it was over $1 million.
Wow. Yeah, and the commission chambers, I heard that, you were screaming about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice, but that's a lot of money, so. Ross Point Playground, this is one that Mary did a great job, got a grant for, that you had approved, and it's in production. And a YMCA, as I mentioned, is that's something that we'll probably hold off till the end of the year. One of the things we are going to do is we're going to invest in the cleaning of the air conditioning system over there, so that'll come out of here.
When do you think the Ross Point Playground is gonna be installed?
I'm going to have to check back in with them. We gave them the deposit to start production on it.
How long that Sunrise Park took?
Yeah, but I didn't think that was supposed to take as long.
I don't think it's going
It's
to.
not going to, but it's still gonna.
It's gonna take time, I know, I just didn't know if we had an idea.
I didn't get an ETA from them yet. I'm
Okay.
waiting for it because when they give it to give us the ETA is when we have to take that out of the playground out.
Okay. Well, if when you find out, you don't have to
Yeah.
make any special call, but just when they give it to you, if
Sure.
you could just let us know, please.
Yeah, of course.
Want me to continue on that list?
Well, staffing we talked about.
Yeah, Third Street Phase 1, as we saved almost $250,000 on that. They overbought some materials that we put back in there. Fire hydrant replacement we do every year. As they get damaged, we replace those. The water softener replacement valve, we haven't done that project yet. The shaker has already been, slinker's already been rehabbed. I don't know why it's not charged there. Well, painting-
Probably wasn't charged to the account line.
That's the question I'd like to know.
Yeah, where did you charge it?
Well, we had a bunch of work done to it, so I don't know where.
And Jeff, no security.
Do you know the vendor?
For what?
I'll get it for you.
Going in.
I just saw it.
The
and I
only
just-
thing that does is it checks for concealed weapons.
But it's not here.
You can open carry now.
Oh, okay, so we don't need the
If
security.
you're allowed to carry a gun in the open, there's no sense in checking to see if you have one hidden.
Okay,
Yeah,
that makes
well, I
sense.
better not.
Yeah,
I'll
okay.
just- I'll sit here and quiet.
You too can call your governor.
Yes.
Joe, don't tempt me.
We talked about these lift stations, the golf course, Sappy, pipeline.
Pipeline's gonna be on tonight at the agenda too.
We talked about the Transform 386, bypass, all this we talked about in Joseph's presentation. Kyle Pro, yeah.
All those
We covered
big ones you already
pretty
said.
much all the rest of this during
Yeah.
the presentation. Yeah, so as you can see, you know, there's $26 million worth of projects on here, plus all the work that we're doing. There's a lot of stuff going on over at the Public Works Department.
There's a lot of things going on that people just don't see.
You don't see it.
It's not sexy.
And
Yes, it's
and
not
it transfers down. It keeps Public Works busy, it keeps Finance Department busy, so
Okay.
stuff's happening.
All right. Finished with 5 minutes to spare.
Good.
Let's go to our next meeting.
Okay, got it.
Expecting big things for this invocation, man.
Yeah.